Um, okay. Hey, everyone. It's great to see you. So, for those who may not know me, my name is Ha, and I was part of the first boot camp that my friend Kasim sort of started. So, Kasim and I have been friends for 5 years now, and several months ago, he asked me to do a LinkedIn post. And when I saw what it was about, which was like learn how to vibe code, but with the help of one-on-one engineering, I was like, Kasem, can we have coffee? I want to learn a little bit more about what you're up to. He told me, I'm like, I'm in, sign me up for the first boot camp. I got my business partner to join. That was boot camp one, which do we do it over the summer? I think early summer. And then we are about to do the fifth boot camp that will kick off on November 17th. But along the way, I've gotten, my current business partner, ex-business partners, all my friends, even my old bosses to join the boot camp, and everybody I think has been blown away. The average NPS of the boot camps have been 80. It's because, not only are you sort of learning the latest like AI tools and technology, but you have live instruction, you have mentors that help you, you have one-on-one engineering support, you have a community, you have real daily accountability. It's been awesome. I know I've had a great experience. I built my product, my dream product, Super Connect, through it, and so many people have built their dream products through it, including Danny and Ida, and they're going to demo in a bit. But with that, I want to just hand off to my friend Kasim, who is going to share a little bit more before handing off to Danny and Ida.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the intro, Ha. And just for everyone, like we would not be here or anywhere if it wasn't for Ha. She has like opened up her entire network, has been an evangelist since day one, and like things have been absolutely crazy. When we started the first cohort, we literally just took like an off the shelf AI coding assistant, and just use that. And then eventually it has evolved so much, and every bootcamp is different, and we're continuously learning, continuously adding new features, new updates, new products. And it's been an incredible journey. Awesome. So let me give you a quick intro about myself. So I'm the founder of a company called Remote Base. We helped screen over 350,000 engineers over the last 5 or so years. Hired a bunch of them. We basically match US companies with remote software engineers. And we also have like an AI product that helps screen at this scale. I think we did about 500 or so engineers in the last 2 days alone. So definitely know a thing or two about building engineering marketplaces. And then recently started SnapDev, which is soon going to be rebranded, but to cofoundry.ai. But yeah, that's a quick background about me. We also have Deb as our co-founder. She's not on the call today because she's in Intuit board meetings that are happening today and tomorrow, but she was previously the CEO of Ancestry.com, was a VP at Meta, and actually was the ideator and the person that launched Facebook Marketplace. So she also has a lot of marketplace experience. So why am I talking about marketplaces so much when you're learning how to vibe code? Because that's sort of our biggest differentiator. So you can use our tools to build products. You can use our AI coding assistant to vibe code products, but unlike other products, what do you get? What do you do when you get stuck? So that's the real differentiator. So in our bootcamp, we match you with engineers, and then as soon as you face an issue, you have a problem, you can just press a chat button within the product itself, and you will match with a real software engineer, human software engineer, that can help debug what problem you're facing and help you through all of this. And because of this, we've had some incredible products that have come out of the bootcamp, which I'll talk a little bit about as well. So I've already highlighted this. I think like tools like Lovable and Bolt, etc., are absolutely incredible. I just feel like they're great for prototyping, but when you actually have to build functionality like integrations or actual actual integrations or functionality, they just don't work. And I've used all of them, and that's where you need the humans in the loop to basically help you out. It's like the Tesla FSD, right? Like they've been promising FSD for 10 years, and yet you need an expert behind the wheel still, because if it goes wrong, you can sort of steer it to the right direction. And AI has a habit of, going in very different, various directions. Um, it's different from Cursor and Windsurf because they're more for engineers and more technical, and they do have the ability to build complete products, but are more difficult to use than ours because we've built our own AI agents. The goal for us is like to allow you to pretty much build anything, or at least teach you how to build anything. And then during the bootcamp, you will focus on one or two core features. And then after it, just like Danny will do a demo today, it will unlock. Okay, it will unlock the ability to after the bootcamp, it will unlock the ability to build pretty much anything. And if you get stuck, you have engineering support. So it's a 3 week boot camp. We will be doing vibe coding plus, like I said, engineering support. There's going to be a session every single day, which I'll talk a bit about later, of a 1 hour session every day, which will be a mixture of in talking about the tools. It will be tips and tricks in terms of vibe coding, and then a lot of it is also like accountability sessions. So basically helping you be accountable with your pods. So we create these pods where you can come in and create these pods where you can come in and talk to your peers that are part of your pod, and basically work, sort of get each other's help and support. In terms of the first two boot camps we still don't have enough people fill out the cohort 3 form, but cohort 1 we had 91 NPS score, cohort 2 we had 82 NPS score. 100% of people that came through the boot camp shipped in cohort 1, and 83% in cohort 2. And this is update for you as well. I feel like in the current cohort it's again going to be 100% because we've changed it a little bit, and it's going like incredibly well. And then the average one-on-one engineering time revolves between 4 to 5 hours of engineering time between cohorts. And apart from cohort 2, almost every cohort, over 90% of people have had no engineering experience, have never written a single line of code. So I've outlined this a little bit. So the way it works is you have your daily 8 a.m. Pacific time ritual. You come on a call. We all come together. We talk about what's going well, what's not going well. We do sessions. We explain how to use the products. And if there's any blockers, we help you resolve it. You get your engineering support, which I've talked about a lot. And then you also have a community of Slack. So everyone is in Slack within their pods. And then as a cohort as a whole, and then we have Slack channels across all the past cohorts as well. So everyone is extremely helpful, so you can post your questions there. We have an ask anything channel where you can post pretty much anything and people will help you out. And then obviously we have our vibe coding agents as part of our products that will help you vibe code and write code. We have debug agents, we have code agents, we have uh, backend agents that build the backend, and we'll teach you how to use all of those and do all of that. The primary product that you will be using is our own. This does not mean that you cannot transfer these skills to other products and vibe code in other products. But for us, the entire bootcamp is built in a way where we take you from idea and then all the way to product and ship your products. And it's all integrated. So we have our own agents that will help you build the front end, then they will help you build the back end. Then we have the engineers that are trained on these tools. So if something goes wrong, you can quickly get help from them. So it's very tightly integrated start to finish, which is what enables you to go from just the idea all the way um, to having an actual product that you launch. But vibe coding is similar across any tool. The only main differences are going to be that you won't have the agents or the humans helping you if you want to vibe code somewhere else eventually. Journey is simple. So you start off with the idea, which is what you will do before the bootcamp. So you come up with an idea. We will use our agents to turn that idea into a very thorough document. Then we'll create the front end of the application, and then we'll create the back end of the application. So it's like pretty straightforward. But when you actually start vibe coding, you will, have all these different sorts of gnarly bugs that you would have to resolve, and we'll teach you how to do it, and we will have the engineering support to do that as well. So it's going to be 3 weeks starting November 13th, 8 a.m. Pacific time. We will take a break of 3 days in the middle for Thanksgiving holidays. But apart from that, it's going to be so we will take that break, but everything kicks off November 13th. Um, to register, we are doing this on Maven for the first time. So previously we were doing it without Maven. So now we want to move on Maven so that we can uh, start building everything funnel through Maven and work with them. We're already working with them for a couple of partnerships. Tuition is $2,000, but you will get $500 off. I will share the code in the chat, but you will get $500 off if you sign up by October 31st. You will also get an email later today or by tomorrow with the coupon code. So I will add all of that information in the chat, but happy to answer any questions, and then we can get into the demos. Questions?
Hey Kasim, what were the this is Wilbur Vale. What were the days, the 3 days that would be off during the Thanksgiving break? Would that be like the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Yes, yes.
Oh, all right, okay. And then as part of this boot camp, we would have access to the 5 hours of engineering time. Is there like a specific time frame for access to that engineering time or
So it's throughout the entire boot camp. Uh,
okay.
so we say 5 hours. We usually comp more. We've never charged anyone for extra hours, but we just say 5 hours because we want it to be we want to teach you how to vibe code and build your products rather than doing it for you. So that's why we limit it to 5 hours. But if you go a couple of hours over, we've never charged anyone for extra hours.
I think
Okay.
I think I ended up using like 15 or 20.
Yes.
But my business partner used zero, and he was not technical at all, not even a PM, not technical. I think it's he had a lot more patience and persistence and a lot learner's mindset. And for me, I was like, I don't have any time to figure this out. I just need to phone a dev. But Kasim is Sim is spot on, which is like they don't charge anybody if you end up going 8, 9. But the one thing that I would say is just like, are you here to learn or are you here to have the engineers build the product for you? And if you're really here to learn and build hard skills in AI, there's a healthy amount of like just debugging and asking the LLMs or the coding agents like I'm stuck. What does this mean? Like, how can I figure it out? And teaching you the real hard skills to really build anything even after the boot camp is over. So that's really the goal. So the 5 hours I think is a good proxy of like combination of, getting you to do most of it on your own. But if you're really stuck, don't spend hours and hours and hours trying to go through the pain by yourself. Like call an engineer.
Okay. All right. Oh, thanks for the insight.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem.
Um, One
Yes.
question, Kasim, I put it in what is the actual tech stack? Like, what is the coding language of the front end and back end?
Yep. So we do the front end in React and the back end in Python Fast API. However, that's not like we're not strict with that. So our AI coding agents, you could ask them to, code in Node.js or whatnot, and
Right,
they will be able to do it. It's just that we have a preferred tech stack.
right.
We could work with the engineers and move out of that. We highly recommend React or Next.js for the front end part because you will be using our UI builder to do all of that. And
Yeah,
if you,
React for sure. Yeah, makes sense. And then
yeah,
you said Python fast API for the
backend,
back.
yes,
Okay.
but you could be like, no, I want to do Node.js, which is fine. Like the AI agent will understand that and actually build it in the Node.js. And if you face issues, we have engineering support. But I recommend using our preferred because it's just going to be easier.
And then for the deployment, is it like on AWS or is it on your own? You have your own
Yeah, so
AWS instance.
we work with this tool called Render.
Okay.
So you could check it out. It's very, very popular, exceptionally popular. But then again, the goal of the bootcamp is not to get you stuck in a particular tech stack. So if you come to us and say, hey, I want to deploy on my own AWS, that's again an edge case where an engineer can hop on a call and then just help you deploy on your whatever domain you want to deploy on. We recommend doing the entire bootcamp on our preferred stack if possible. But then, for example, in this current bootcamp, we had someone that didn't want to do the front end at all. They wanted to build a Slack integration and have everything handled in Slack, and that's also completely fine.
Okay.
Okay, a very good question by Esteban is like how much time in terms of live learning during those 3 weeks. So we do 1 hour every day, weekday during those 3 weeks. The last 3 days are optional because you will have engineering office hours, so you can still hop on those 1 hour calls. This 1 hour is not your engineering time, so do expect to spend anywhere from 2-3 hours a day to as much time as you want vibe coding your products. But yeah, that's just one heads up. Like this 1 hour is learning together, and then you code on your own, and then if you get stuck, you have engineering support, so you can call an engineer and they can hop on a call with you.
Kasim, the one thing that you also didn't mention is that you'll be assigned a pod, and each pod has a mentor. And mentors who are or 100% of them have been through the boot camp and have learned hard AI skills, and they were a great resource as well to ask like some simple questions or product related questions or things like that. So you got the mentors, you got the engineers who are also available 24/7 in Slack to answer questions, but then also are able to hop on a call with you as well.
Exactly. And pods have been awesome, like incredible. And Danny is also, Ida and Danny both are pod mentors. Uh, okay, so we do these once a month. We are not sure about the December date yet. So let's see. But once a month, we do these boot camps. Once every 6 weeks, I would say, actually.
Hey, Kasim, the dates on the Maven seem wrong because it says in the heading it says November 13th to 16th, but then in the kickoff it says Saturday 10/18 in
We're gonna
October.
have to fix it. We literally we're working on the Maven page like as of this morning to like finish it up for in time for this session. But the correct dates, which we will fix, are November 17th through what is it, December 6th, something like that.
November
November
13th. November 13th, huh?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, November 13th. So
Yeah.
Thursday. Sorry,
Yeah.
November
Thursday.
13th, Thursday through
Right.
December.
6th, I think, something
Yes,
like that. Yeah.
yes. So it is November 13th all the way to December 6th.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the first kickoff, I'm asking because I'm out that weekend from the 13th through the 16th or 17th. So the kickoff will be on the 13th itself,
Uh,
Thursday.
yes, it will be on Thursday. We've had people that have missed a couple of sessions earlier, which is fine because the UI builder that we have is much easier to use. So the real hard stuff happens the week after, which is when you start building the backend.
Okay.
And all the sessions are recorded, by the way. So when I participated as part of Bootcamp 1, I happened to be in Europe. I was traveling in Europe. And so when I missed sessions, I would catch the recording in the evenings. So
All right. All right. It's interesting.
Yeah, this is our first time doing it on Maven, by the way, because we've been doing it outside of Maven. So apologies for that issue.
yeah. All right. Well, we'll continue to answer more questions, but I think it's a good time to hand it over. I'm going to hand it over to Danny first to demo, and then I'm sure Danny will share a little bit about his experience as well while he's demoing, and then Ida after that.
There you go. I had to unmute myself. I promise I'm not. I have some technological competency going on here. Okay, let me share my screen. So before I do this, I'll give you just a little bit of lead in and context of what I'm going to demo. So I have 3 kids. They're 11, 8, and 4. My kids love hearing stories from their grandparents and occasionally like hearing stories from my wife and I about things that we did when we were kids. And I built an AI product that can take those stories and turn them into digital picture books for the kids to read. So that I don't have to tell them the same story over and over again all the time, and they get to learn how to read and have some fun while doing it. So I'm going to demo that for you today. Let me share my screen. While I'm bringing this up, as Ha mentioned, I went into SnapCamp. I'd say as like a technically minded product manager, but not an engineer. I had like no formal engineering training. I have no engineering experience really, other than taking an Intro to Python course a year ago on deep learning AI. So, all right, let's jump in and I'll show you how this thing works. It takes a little longer than 5 minutes to do, so I'll stop at some point and then show you something that's complete. So the first thing I'm going to do is record a story. So bear with me. You'll hear a little bit about me while I record this story. All right. When I was a kid, I loved drawing. My favorite cartoon when I was growing up was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I spent a lot of time in my playroom at my drawing table with my crayons and pencils, drawing all kinds of Ninja Turtles and coming up with new outfits and vehicles and weapons for them to use. As I got older, I continued to draw a lot and really enjoyed it. My favorite basketball team when I was a kid was the Chicago Bulls because of Michael Jordan, and I have a distinct memory of a Chicago Bulls logo that I drew when I was a kid and still have in a folder upstairs in our desk. Okay, so I recorded that little story about something from myself. I can play that recording back. When I was a kid, I loved, which you probably can't hear on Zoom, but it's there. And now what I'm going to do is click continue. And what's going to happen is we're going to go out to an AI model and transcribe that recording. Awesome. So now what I want to do is tell Lorly who I am. So that's me. I'm going to make this book for my 4-year-old Vivia. Actually, you know what? I'll make it here. I'll add a new person. I'll add it for my son, who is 8. And there we go. So I'm going to make this for my son, Oliver, and click continue. And now what's happening is Lorly is using the story that I just told it, information about me and information about my son, Oliver, and is going to go in the background and create an age-appropriate story based on the story that I told. All right, here it is. So it's called Danny's Drawing Dreams. What is it? It's an 11-page story that has taken what I told Lorly and turned it into something that is age appropriate for an 8-year-old to read. Now, my 8-year-old can read more than this, but right now, it's a fairly simple 12-page story that comes back because I'm primarily targeting like 4 to 6-year-old kids. So if I wanted to, I could make changes to any of the story along the way, but I'm just going to roll forward with it since we're limited on time. I could regenerate or request changes if I wanted to, but we're going to continue. So now what we need to do is choose an art style for the way that we want our picture book to look. Since I grew up in the 90s, I'm going to choose a 1990s cartoon, and I'm going to click continue. So there are 9 different standard art styles that I have built into Lorly. And what's happening now in the background, you're not seeing all of it on the screen, but I'll just give you a sense of kind of what I've done and how I think about building these complex multi-stage applications. So we have a story that's been created for Oliver. That story needs a cover image, and that cover image is being generated by an AI model reading the story, finding the most kind of powerful or memorable moment in the story, doing a really robust description of that moment in the story, and then feeding all that information along with the characters it identified in the story back into the AI model again to generate a few different cover image options. So this usually takes about a minute and a half. Let me check on it, and it should almost be done. Yep, it's almost done.
So, Danny is also launching this soon. So, Danny, while this is happening, do we have a wait list that people that might want to use it can sign up, or is there no wait list?
No, there's certainly a wait list. I will, after I'm done doing the demo, I'll drop the wait list into the meeting chat, and you're all welcome to sign up for the wait list. I'm launching this to my group of alpha tester friends and family this weekend. Okay, so now I'll make this a little taller so that you can see it. So now we have our cover image. I'm going to move the title. Let's see, down here to the bottom, Danny's Drawing Dreams. I'm going to change it to like a fun font, and I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Maybe I'll make it black so that it stands out a little bit more on the background, or I don't know. There we go. We'll make it green for the Ninja Turtles. Okay, so now I have a cover image. I have actually 4 different cover image options that I can choose from. I'm gonna go with this first one because I, for some reason, have crayon all over my face. So I now have a cover image for Danny's Drawing Dreams picture book. And when I click continue, what's happening now, I'm going to jump to a completed book. But effectively what's happening now is in the background, I'm using a series of AI models and a bunch of different API calls to generate scene descriptions and images for each of those pages in this picture book that I've created. So we can come back to this in a moment, but while it's running, I'm going to switch and show you a picture book that I created the other day while I was doing some testing. And this is a picture book about me when I was a kid. I used to love building model cars. So you can see when it's done, this one is called Dashing Dream Cars. And I can go through and it has text for each page of the story. I'm going to make this text a little bigger so it's easier for us to read. It has text and images associated with each page of the story. If for some reason I wanted to edit the text, I could go in and make a change to some of the text on that page. I'm not going to make any changes though. And what happens here is now my son Oliver or my daughter Vivia or one of my nieces and nephews, I can have this fully digital picture book that I can send them and they can read on their iPad or they can read it on a laptop instead of playing Roblox. So that is Lorely. Just to give you a sense, I usually get the question of how long it's taken me to build this. The way that I approached it, and to be honest, like an expectation that you all should have as you think about joining SnapCamp,
We turn AC.
is in SnapCamp, you can get through a basic version 1 of something like this in 2.5 weeks if you have enough time and energy to do so. For me, like at this point, this is something that I'm literally pushing to production with with testers and eventually paying customers. I've spent hundreds of hours building this, but I have built it on my own. I think Kasim can probably look at the number of support hours I've used in building Lorely, and maybe it's been 2 hours to help me with some like challenging debugging stuff that I encountered a few weeks ago.
Wait, Dana, I don't know if we shared, but like during the boot camp, you actually worked on another product for the private equity industry. It was incredibly impressive. So this is you building your second product because you learned all the skills that you needed to be able to go off and build really any product of your dreams.
Yeah,
So that's why this one isn't deployed yet to production, but the other one was.
correct.
Right.
So just to show you that it's real, I guess here's our picture book. Got a bunch of different scenes about stuff that I've drawn, and then there's the Michael Jordan thing in there and the Chicago Bulls and stuff like that. So anyway, that is Lorely, the ability to take your favorite stories from when you were a kid and turn them into your kids' favorite picture books.
Danny, can you just share like maybe 1 or 2 minutes about like your experience in SnapCamp before we hand it off to Aida?
Yeah, sure. So, what's before SnapCamp, I had a bunch of ideas for different startups and types of businesses. And I personally was always frustrated by feeling limited by convincing an engineer to work on something with me. And I wasn't really interested in building cute prototypes. I'd spent time trying to use Replit. I'd spent some time trying to use Lovable, and they were fine for like a clickable prototype, but I wanted to launch something real. I wanted to understand how these AI systems worked. I wanted to have to go through like integrating with them and getting a good output from them. So when I was in SnapCamp, I probably spent about, I don't know, across the 2.5 weeks, like 50 hours in SnapCamp, whether it was like weekday nights or on the weekends. It's amazingly addicting. And the approach that I took was I really wanted to try and figure it out myself, right? So during SnapCamp, I probably used maybe an hour of the 5 hours of support. And then because I stayed on as a customer, custom rolled all my support hours forward, thankfully, because you're wonderful, custom. The like just at a high level, the things that I learned. And so one, I learned how to build something real. You all just saw a demo of the thing that I built after SnapCamp. It frankly has taught me how to work really well with AI models. I'm not talking about just ChatGPT. I'm talking about like I now have a really, really deep understanding of how to productively work with an AI product that is using all these different agents to actually build a piece of software. And it's taught me how to structure my thinking around products and product strategy, knowing that I'm going to be working with AI on the other side of it. And for me personally, um, I feel very much like that is where the world is going. I think product design and engineering are starting to collapse. And the people that will be most well suited to be successful in the future will be those that actually really understand how to harness the full potential of these technologies. So, um, yeah, I hope that that was a helpful series of commentary. Huh?
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
so, Danny, we have a question for you in the chat. So, how did
Oh,
you determine the 9 styles? Is that based on styles available in the image generation model, or did you specify?
Yeah, there's no specific styles available in any of these image generation models. This is me kind of coming up with a bunch of different variations and styles. There's one that's like a 3D cartoon, which is what you saw for the book I created where I was building car models, the 1990s one. Um, in some ways, like I knew that many of my friends and family members would be using this, and a lot of my friends grew up in the 90s, which is why the 1990s cartoon style is there. Like whether our grandparents grew up in the 50s and 60s, or my parents grew up in the 50s and 60s. So that's why the 1950s and 60s style is there. So I sort of came up with ideas for a bunch of these image styles and then have been tuning the prompts in the background to try and get the best result from these AI models in generating images of these styles. And under the hood is a fairly complex system of prompts and reference images that help the AI models generate consistent characters and consistent styles as it goes through the entire book generation process.
Awesome. Anyone else has a question for Danny? Maybe one question, and then we can have Ida demo. I think I will also share Danny's project for the bootcamp in the YouTube because that was also pretty incredible. And Danny actually came second in terms of, so we have like people's vote, and Danny came second for the other project he did during the bootcamp, which was yeah, for helping private equity figure out if they wanted to invest in a company. You'd upload all the documents, it would generate. You'd upload all the criteria you're looking for in a company, and it would generate like this very thorough, detailed, exact summary document, and which was a pretty cool idea.
There was a new question that came in on the chat. Does the platform allow for ideation, um, plan mode in addition to execution? So maybe we could talk about a little bit about all the different agents that support.
So I think this is where we're very different is like we are very big on plan mode, which means that you don't go directly into building anything until our agents build a very thorough, detailed document. In the beginning, it's a product requirement document. Later on, it's a development plan document that it creates, and it actually thinks through these things before actually going out and building them. So the short answer is yes, and not just at one point, but at multiple steps of the way. We have our AI agents doing a lot of the planning before actually building anything. And we have like 10 other agents that Ha alluded to. We have the orchestrator agent, we have backend strategist, product strategist, PRD refiner. We have a bunch of different agents that are part of the process where they don't build, they just plan first before using the code agent and debug agent and all these other agents.
Quick question, Kasim. Do you guys have like Google, like Gmail API integration and things like that? Like if I wanted to build something on top of email, or that's not going to be possible in this?
So almost everyone has used, not all everyone, but a lot of people have done Google authentication. We've had a few projects that have integrated with their Gmail as well, but then that is something custom. So the way you'll do it is you'll work with our AI, you will work with ChatGPT, figure out what API keys you know need, figure out how
Mhm.
to integrate it, and then you will 100% get stuck at some point, and that's when
Yeah.
you ping an engineer and they can hop on a call, whether it's a Gmail integration or whether it's some other integration. So that's kind of we try to push you to do it yourself first. It could be anything. We had someone do a Zoom SDK integration, which was so complicated, but we still asked them to try it first. And then when it didn't work out, then an engineer hops on a call, helps you. And the good thing about this is most times engineer will actually just not do it, but actually be on a call and ask you to pass the right prompts so you can also see how to do it. But then if it's a very gnarly issue, that's the when they'll pull a code and they'll tell you what the problem is and then fix it for you.
Yeah, I actually heard from quite a few friends, and I tried something myself, that Google is blocking a lot of these, because there's like millions of apps now trying to AI generated apps now trying to integrate with Gmail, and from like security perspective, like have you encountered this that they're not approving Google authentication and stuff for
No, because
certain?
we
Okay.
like the authentication. So the code is wipe coded, but you still have to actually go
Right, of
into
course.
Google and get the API keys, etc. So no
Right.
problem whatsoever.
Okay. Okay.
And then Ramkumar, like same answer for you as well, like for MCP servers, etc. Like these are like all different cases. And if we built agents for all of them, we'd have to build 10,000 agents because everyone's product and ideas are so different. So if you want to like have something very specific, that's when you do it yourself. We'll teach you how to do it. But if you get stuck, yes, we have engineers that have worked with MCP and that can hop on a call and help you out.
Okay, let's shift over to Ada's demo, and then we'll take more questions at the end.
All right. Can you guys hear me? See my screen? Awesome. Let me actually move this. The Zoom little tip thing always gets me. Hold on. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of background, I am a 20+ year career product manager, non-technical product manager. So I've spent my life working with engineers, with designers, but never truly in code, or have never taken any coding classes or anything, right? I have a true business and an MBA, degree. So the reason I decided to join SnapDev is because one, Ha reached out and I figured why not join something that's backed by somebody that you constantly see in your network and have, reached out to before. But what I really liked was the accountability of having a 2.5 week period. And after listening to this same session, is knowing that you would truly have something in a production environment. So to me, that was some of the keys that really like just sold me on joining the boot camp. So as background, so as I mentioned, right, I've been in product management for over 20 years. So this calorie quest idea, I've truly had it for over 14 years. So right in after having my daughter, my second child, I was back on the road again, traveling constantly back and forth from Illinois to Atlanta. And I was really down to those like last 10 pounds that I had to lose. And I was and still am an avid user of, my Fitness Pal, which I used as my diary to track all of my calories and my nutritional. But what was really difficult was when you're on the road trying to find food that met a certain calorie range. So for example, if I was in the airport, I'm like, I have 600 calories left. I just want something to see what can I get quick that still falls in my calorie range. So I was using my Fitness Pal to see how many calories I had left. I was using my Near Me and then going to different restaurant menus to find out like, okay, what can I actually eat? So what I built was to solve for that problem, right? It's to help anyone who wants to basically be conscious of what they're eating while they're on the road, dealing with their daily life. So even to show an example, actually, of somebody that just asked about Google authentication, I actually did build that as part of my minimal viable product here with Sign In with Google. But I'm going to first go into continue as guest to just show you this basic application. Oh, another thing that I want to say here is this is in prod, so I am showing a prod URL. And also, I have not touched this app since the end of my boot camp. That doesn't mean I'm not going to continue to build on it because I am. I just haven't, due to travel and other reasons, I haven't been able to dedicate the time. So this is truly where the app left off at the end of my boot camp, which is about maybe a month ago now. So this is what I went to production and demoed in my final demo days. So going back to calorie quest here. So this gives a quick guide to let people use or select a quick select from calorie ranges. So if they want a small meal or hefty meal, or they can also enter in their own calorie ranges and then also select distance from where they currently are located to find those options. Now, one of the things of why I implemented the actual sign in as Google is because I wanted users to be able to also save their preferences. So I'll show that in a minute. But while this is running, I'm going to actually jump to this because my computer's been incredibly slow today. But that is actually linked up to Google Places and Google Geocoding, which actually does the lookup of my, let me find this. Sorry, I thought I had the things prepped, but I didn't. But here we go. This is the one I just ran. So you can see the results for my current location where I'm located in Naples, Florida, and within 3 miles of 2 to 600. And it displays, again, using Google integrations, what's near me. And it shows the miles from me, and then also shows the different restaurants. Now, keep in mind that these are the restaurants that are within my location that meet my criteria and that have qualifying menu items. So you can see really quick the number of qualifying menu items. Now, one of the things that you can do here, if you still just wanted to see different restaurants that don't have qualifying or may not have publicly available menus with nutritional information, you can see some of those different restaurants as well. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to McDonald's, which has 8 qualifying items, the most items here that again fall within that 200 to 600 calorie range I selected. And now you can quickly see which items on the menu fall under those different nutritional values. I can also do just a really quick high to low sort. And I again intentionally kept this minimal to my calories. Now you can see I am displaying different macros like protein and carbs and fat. And it was really tempting to continue to add scope to my features and wanting to do filters and searching and preferences. But again, I wanted to prove an end-to-end scenario of being able to search for a certain calorie range near my location and easily see those results. So I was able to accomplish that in the boot camp. So again, I can see here all of the menu items. Now, as a logged in user, one of the things that I'm able to do is actually save my preferences. So next time that I log in, I can actually just go directly into my results because I also was able to put in a quick start. So if I select auto search on login, as soon as I log in, instead of even landing on that first filters page, it's going to give me my results based on where I am. So it makes it even quicker when you're on the go to see what calories or what restaurants are in the range of the calories that I'm looking for. Now, that's not it, right? So now one of the things that I do want to make this a business at some point in the future and actually monetize it. But my goal is to not monetize it necessarily on the consumer side, but on the restaurant, right? On the provider side. So you can see here that as part of my, again, SnapDev, I created, this is not truly an active dashboard right now. It's more for demo purposes to display, right, to investors in the future of what the results of this will be. So you can see here, as McDonald's is one of my partners, they can actually see what consumers are doing and give them actual information based on location searches and things that they may not have been able to get from simple, right, actual restaurant information. So this might be showing, for example, of McDonald's search by calorie range. You can see that they don't have very many options from 0 to 400, but they might be able to see that some of their competitors have some options that they don't. So this is going to give different restaurants more information about different menu items by location, so it can make them smarter in terms of what they're going to be offering their customers via menu items. And that's it. That was what I did in 2.5 weeks.
Ida, how was your entire experience if you want to share with everyone? And then now you've become a mentor, so you
Yeah.
graduated. So how has that journey been?
Absolutely. So my whole experience was great. So now again, I've never had any dev tools on my computer. So the main thing that I used my engineering hours for was for setup. So whenever I would get stuck with, after, for example, installing VS Code and seeing all these different things that I had to continue to install on my machine, I would kind of get stuck. So that's when I would really reach out to the team to like help me understand, like, okay, how do I properly set this up? I don't want to waste a bunch of time setting up tools. That's kind of like a one and done. So that's really where I used a lot of my engineering time. And I have to say, like every engineer that I ever interacted with was absolutely like wonderful. They were patient. I would kind of let them preface with, I don't know anything dev tools. So walk me through this like you're walking, a kindergartner through it. But they were very patient, great, and it's true. They walked me through how to do it as well. They didn't just do it for me. So it was really great because I was able to also learn at the same time. And well, the other times that I used devs was also when I was like, okay, I've been debugging now for like 2 or 3 hours. Um, I need to get past this so I can move forward. And then come to find out I think there was two main times where I spent a lot of time debugging, where there was just something that happened to one of my files that was like corrupted or it was missing. Like I would have never figured that out like in a million years, right? Not having any dev experience. So again, that them being able to jump in and help with that was huge. It just got me past that and boom, right to the next thing of really focusing on learning how to build using the AI tool. So I mean, overall, my experience was wonderful. The other thing was the community. I mean, my mentor was great. He had a lot of great tips, was very supportive. And then the ongoing community and people that I've still kept in touch with, and then joining as a mentor again. I'm a big believer that, once you've well, one, with the SnapDev camp, I was able to learn and apply and see something come to life right away, which is huge for learning. But then once you're on with other folks and giving them your tips and tricks and helping them learn, you're continuing to learn as well, right? So overall, it's been just a really great and amazing experience.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ida. I think
Yeah.
one difficult parts of the bootcamp is like after every bootcamp we get so many people wanting to mentor the next one. So shortlisting and finalizing that because everyone wants to stay involved with the community and keep learning because every day it's different. Like I still haven't tested Gemini 3.0, which just came out last week because this and then Claude announced something like 2 days ago. So it's like always evolving, and we are also evolving every single bootcamp. We're adding new products. We didn't have a UI builder when Ha had her first bootcamp, so everything is we didn't even have the VS Code extension back then. So it's evolving with every
But
bootcamp.
I'll say that NPS score of 80, 90, it's a real NPS. So this is the journey that I've seen from probably at least a dozen people who've gone through it. You start as a participant, a bunch, you love it so much, you want to stay on as a mentor. You love it so much that you might want to even start instructing or facilitating. And then you love it so much that you want to join SnapDev slash, SnapCamp as an employee, as a co-founder, as anything, and so we're all waiting for Custom to finish raising his round, so we can all join full time. I think that's the plan. So, so anyways, let's open it up for more questions.
I'd have a question for this. I love the restaurant dashboard. It's really interesting. What portion, maybe somebody already asked this, and I'm sorry, what percentage of the time was in the plan ideation mode versus in the coding mode?
So because this has been in my head for a really long time, like I said,
Yeah.
truly 14 years. For me, it was actually harder to think about how to truly make it a very thin end-to-end MVP. So that's where I actually spent a lot of time of like building my initial PRD, had a little bit more, and then I continued to cut it back, just so that it was really focused. Now, another thing that I did, because initially I entered the boot camp, like I just want to learn how to build, right? But then as I was in it, I'm like, wow, this is actually creating something like really real, right? So I actually took a step back and I went into the tool and let it know, like, I actually really want to monetize this. So I gave it my full idea of how I wanted to monetize it with restaurants, how I needed the architecture. I needed to re-examine the architecture based on how heavy it was going to be on data analysis, and then also gave it some future vision of obviously like some additional AI functionality, and just then truly did give it my full vision so that
Right.
it could think about how to go back and maybe restructure, do some, technical debt so that it was building in the right way going forward with the right structures. So I did actually pause at some point and took about a day or two to re-architect and relook and have it look through all my code that I already built and adjust. And then again, the rest was just building. So again, within the 2.5 week period, I probably spent a good probably week truly building within the back end and then eventually getting it to production. And then I came back and started tweaking, right? Once it was in production, I was happy with that. I then started like messing a little bit more with my visuals, messing a little bit more with, if you're a guest, I'd still like you to have a little bit more of the same experience, be able to quickly, log in. So I came back and just did a couple of things like that after I was in production.
Okay, makes sense.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's very, that's why I was asking, because it seems very complete and, much more like I love Danny's demo, but this seems like a product, like a feature and product and everything that, like you said, you could monetize. So I was surprised you got that far in 2 weeks. But yeah, it sounds like you've been thinking about it for like a while. So makes sense. No.
So I think one thing, Mitali, just to answer the question, adding on to it, one thing we do is like even before the bootcamp starts, we like start spamming you with emails to think about your ideas and then create a Slack channel.
Right.
So you share your idea that you want to build, number one. Number two, once you join, the front end UI builder that we use, which helps you visualize your idea, is a lot where you start doing the thinking, which is that once you see it visually, there's no backend, so you can like quickly iterate, move things around. That's when you can like think through how it's looking, what you want to change, and then you get into the building the backend, which is the harder part. But yeah, so you get the opportunity of about 3, 4, 5 days within the boot camp, and then maybe a week before the boot camp to basically think through what you want to build.
Okay. Yeah, I have a pretty solid idea, and I kind of started sort of building it myself on other tools like Figma, Make, and Cursor. So we'll see. Be interesting to do it in this instead. It sounds like it would be like a jump start instead of trying to figure out a bunch of tools myself and cobble them together.
Yeah, you get engineering support. So if you get
Yeah.
stuck, someone can help you. I've also added a YouTube link, so if anyone wants to see any of the past demos, their demo days, they're a bit long, 1.5 hour or so, so you can just skim through and see any demos. This is like all the way from cohort 1 till the last cohort.
Okay, I want to make sure we end on time. So I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions from the group. And if no questions, Kasim, do you want to just share again sort of next steps?
Yes, so I have shared it again. So the dates on Maven are correct. For the main enrollment dates, it's the session dates that are October 18th. So older, that's when they got created. So we'll fix that, but the main dates are correct. It's November 13th to December 4th, just for clarity. I've shared the link. I've shared the discount code. It's early 500 that you can use to get $500 off by 31st October. 31st October.
And then if you still have questions to figure out whether this is right for you, occasionally you can sweet talk Kasim into doing a one-on-one session. See like, okay, here's the idea I have in my head. Is this even viable? Help me think through whether the boot camp is for me.
Yep.
Occasionally you can sweet talk him.
Yes, so you'll receive an email, so just respond to it and just I think you'll receive it tomorrow. Like, just respond to it if you want to schedule a one-on-one call. Happy to do that. One more thing is that when you submit your ideas, we do have an AI agent that also reviews those ideas and just gives you some feedback on those ideas of what's buildable and what's not buildable or why it takes longer. So the agent is used by our engineers. So basically, our engineers review every idea, run that agent, review the response, and then paste it in our Slack just so that there's a human plus AI review as well.
Well,
Awesome.
okay. Well, first of all, Danny, Ida, thank you so much for being here, for um, demoing your incredible products, for being mentors to the current bootcamp participants. You're incredible, and I appreciate you both so much. Kasim, thanks for building what you're building, and I'm excited to see where you and Deb take this platform and this experience next. So we're off to a great start. And thank you everybody else for joining. Hopefully we'll see you in the next bootcamp. We'll talk soon.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Ida. Thanks, Ha.